Okay, everyone, I'm going to show you a method of holding on to your research, keeping track of your research. You do a little bit every day or a little bit every week and add on to a list, and it makes your works cited list automatically. There's no reason we can't have it down, right? I use something called Cloudcite. There's EasyBib and others, but those things are complicated and they've got all kinds of ads on them. I like cloudcite.net. We can see that. I'll make sure that's clear on the video here. Cloudcite.net, and the reason why is it's clean, simple interface. As you see, it keeps things for years. Project 1, Project 2, you can see that I've still got my bibliography way back from when I did the cookie project is still here. So it's easy to keep track of everything that you're doing. You can do websites, books, and movies. There are other methods, but that's all right. And then you can choose what kind of method. We use MLA, Modern Language Association, but there's lots of others for later on in your schooling. You might end up using AMA or APA or Chicago, something like that. But we're going to use Modern Language Association, the MLA format, as ever. So I'm going to recommend that this is an easy one to use, and I'm going to walk you through the process. I'm going to research a little bit about my zombie project, so we'll see how it goes. First, I'm going to go to Projects. I click on that, and look, it keeps my old projects if I want to. I can delete them or keep them, but I've got a new project, and I'm going to call this project title Zombies Galore or something like that. I'm using MLA. I'm done with that. So there it is. Select that project, and I'm ready to go with my research. Now, the more things that I research, I'm going to just drop them into this thing. I'll show you how this works. So I need to look something up, like a website, a book, a film. Spend a few moments with research tactics. I know everyone just kind of starts with Google, and I'm not going to tell you not to do that. That's totally fine. But let's think about how you type things in. If I just type in zombies, I'm going to get 429 million results. And most of it's going to be like Wikipedia articles and stuff like that. We'd like to get past Wikipedia. You know, Wikipedia you can look at if you want, but I like to get past it and get into something that's a little more detailed. And how do I think about that? I think about it in terms of what I wrote on my outline page. Here's my outline page. And I want to better understand the obsession with zombies. I want to premiere Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, so I want to set that up. I want to talk about this issue's allegory or political. Maybe I start with something like this. What's the topic here about zombies? You know, what do they represent? What do they mean? And so my research on zombies should be a little more specific than just zombies. So we'll see what I can do. Start with that idea. And I have the word allegory, which basically means fancy symbol. A bunch of symbols work together as an allegory. So let's do this. Zombies and allegory, and see what I get. Now I've got some articles. You can see here, if I zoom in a little bit, see here I've got a Vox article from a few years ago on zombies representing America's deepest fears. Interesting. And then, oh, look at that. The ethicist, Zombie as Allegory. Curious what that is. Zombie movies are never really about zombies, from Smithsonian. So these are all good. And something about from University of Michigan. Well, that's interesting. So there's lots of things, and even a book of some kind here, The Four Symbols of Zombies in Western Culture. This sounds like I've got exactly what I'm looking for. George Romero's movies were more than about zombies. So now I've got 4 or 5 sources maybe. Let's see how I'm going to use them in Cloudcite. So I'm going to start with the Vox.com article just because it happens to come to the top, and that's because, you know, Vox is Vox. Everybody knows about it. So, a socio-political history of zombies from Haiti to The Walking Dead. Now, I could go through and check this out and read more about it, but it looks like it goes all the way back and goes into the early films, atomic zombies, and different kinds of zombies. Good. All I'm doing right now is trying to set up my research plan. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will check it out later. I'm just trying to see what's out there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this copy. I'm going to copy the URL. Perfect. Now I'm going to go back to Cloudcite, and I'm going to call website, enter the website link. cite it. I'll double check that it has all the information it should need. Zach Crockett, it says, is the name, as an author, along with Javier Zarexina. Here's the URL, the publisher, the title. That all looks good. I could look at this if I wanted to, the day accessed, which is, right now. So I could say this is, I'm doing this on April 18th. Not that I have to have that information. I really should get the information that it was published. That's important. But if it doesn't have the publication information, then I want some date there. And at least I can say, look, it's not on the internet now, but on April 18th, 2021, it was on the internet. Look what it's doing down below. It's giving me my perfect MLA citation. Flawless. Hit save. So there's one. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back and check out one other site here. I want to show you why and what it does. I want to check out the Smithsonian. And there that is. This, and of course, Smithsonian wants to pop up. So Smithsonian, this is Smithsonian Institute, the federal government's, national museum and knowledge base. So they got a pretty short article, but it might have something in it. So I'll hang on to it just to see. This is not a guarantee I'm going to use all these, but I want to see what happens when I put them in. Same thing. It's a website. Paste it. Cite it. There it is. Kat Eschner, Smithsonian Magazine. The whole thing is there. It's got the date. It looks good there. I hit save. Notice what it does. Now I've got a list going. And I could have a list of 15 or 20 articles on here and sources before I'm done. I'm only going to keep the ones I end up using. So if I want to get rid of one later, I can trash it or I can edit it or something else. But right now, I can do that. When I want to export it, I can do two things. I can just copy paste, which I've done. And sometimes that's what happens right here. You just hit the copy button and you can copy the whole thing over and paste it into a Google Doc or whatever you're going to use. So that's how it works. I'm going to show you one more, and that is a film or movie, because I know I'm going to be watching some films or movies. This gets a little more complicated because I don't have it handy, but I'm going to choose George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. And look at this. It's accessing everything right there. It knows the movies. It has a database it just pulls from. So there's the Zack Snyder one there, but I'm looking at the George Romero one. So I click on that. It pops right up. There's no URL because it's not a website. It's a movie. It shows you everything there. If I wanted to add more of this, I could, like the genre, the running time. None of that's required. So I'm just going to leave that there. You might do it, for instance, if I was interested in, the director and start it there, but it's that easy. Dawn of the Dead, directed by George Romero, Dawn Associates, 1978. Save. It's that easy. And it puts it again in alphabetical order because that's what this site is supposed to do. It's so clean and easy. None of you should have a hard time doing this. You can use EasyBib if you want to. You can use some, there's a bunch of others on there online. You can even just use a Google Doc and just cut and paste things into the Google Doc. That's a way to do it too. But I like it here. And as you can see, it saves, Cloudcite saves the stuff, for years if it needs to be. So I've got my Zombies Galore project going. I'm going to do my reading and my note taking later, but I wanted to show you that as an option. See ya.